Hello everyone and welcome back to Traveling with Francoise. I'm Francoise Rhodes, your host. Thanks for watching us on live What's Happening in Coachella Valley with my co-host Craig Campbell. And if you didn't get it, use that website, CoachellaValley.com, for all the information happening here in the Coachella Valley, because that's where I'm coming from. Actually coming from Palm Desert, California, which is right in the heart of the Coachella Valley. So I am going to try to find myself on Today's California, and when I do, I'm going to see if I can see your comments, but I don't want to be looking at my phone all the time, so I probably will just see how quickly I can find the show. All right, it is a 3-day holiday for a lot of you, but it's been a long holiday for a lot of you as well. But things are starting to open. Airlines are starting to pick up on their routes. Cruises are talking about getting back into action. In fact, some countries already are getting back into action. And for those of us in the United States, it will be time to vote pretty soon. So some of you were worried about your ballots. I did get mine the other day. I have my little sticker there. I haven't voted yet. I'm going to do it over the weekend. I actually vote by mail. I've been doing that for a long time. So that is where my vote will be going. But okay, I'm gonna look and see if we popped it, because there is about a minute delay. So here I am. Right there. Okay, hey Gary and Lane, you guys are watching. A lot of things happening in the world of Traveling with Francoise. In fact, a new episode comes out this week. It is a behind the scenes bloopers type pandemic show. That's what I'm going to call it, the pandemic show. And for Lane and Gary, you actually have something special at the end of that show just for you two. So just put it out there for you. All right, Dan Scanning is watching as well, and I have my beautiful background here as we are at La Casa Craig Campbell, as our studio has not yet reopened because it is actually in an area that is a very public area and they're not ready to reopen it yet. So, all right, I mentioned earlier in the first hour, and I'm going to do it here because of the confusion for everybody. It is the Columbus Day weekend, but I want to let you know that there is trash pickup on Monday. It's also confusing. And there is no mail on Monday, but the post offices are open. So you figure that out, I don't know. And this morning there were Canadian geese flying overhead, so I feel that the Coachella Valley is coming back to life. The birds are migrating, so they don't even know what's going on out there. But there is a lot of news in the world of travel, so we will talk about that as well. So again, I'm Francoise Rhodes, and this is Live Traveling with Francoise. And I want to remind you that I have a new episode that airs Monday at 5:30, Thursday at 1 p.m. and Friday at 5:30, that's 5:30 a.m., 1 p.m. on Fox 11, and soon it will be on my website and on my YouTube page, but not yet. It has to air on TV for a couple weeks, and also on Hulu, Fubo, and some other sites out there. All right, so what is happening in the world of travel? Well, here's something for all of you out there. You can simply answer, you know, just however you want to answer these. But we talked about Disneyland in the first hour and live What's Happening in Coachella Valley. Because California Theme Parks Trade Group, they're blasting the governor for no hurry stance. The California Attractions and Parks Associations called Governor Gavin Newsom's statement on issuing guidance on reopening parks in the state disconcerting. He doesn't seem in a hurry to open up these theme parks, which are huge to the tourism infrastructure here in California. We have Disneyland, we have Knott's Berry Farm, we have Universal Studios, we have all the things in Hollywood, the wax museums and more. And they want to get these places open, and the governor doesn't think that we need to. So would you go? So I was thinking about it. Would I go to a theme park if it was open? I would. I think if I really wanted to go to a certain theme park, whether it be Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm, in fact, I'd really like to go to Knott's Berry Farm because I haven't been there in such a long time. Would you go if they open? Because if the majority of you say no, then maybe there's good reason for them not to open. But if a lot of you are thinking, yes, I would go to a theme park as long as guidelines are in place, would you go? So you can answer yes or no on we're on Today's California right now and Traveling with Francoise, just to give us an idea of what your thoughts are. And we're not judging anyone. This is the one thing that bothers me about social media. Too many people feel they need to judge others on their reply. Don't go there. Please do not go there. whatever your answer is, that's your answer, and I stand by it. So yes, I would go to theme parks. I probably wouldn't go to one that I really wasn't interested in going to. It would be more of something that I really wanted to go to. Same with museums, same with state parks, same with national parks. I think for me at this point, it has to be something I really want to go to, that I probably wouldn't just go to go. So Mary says no. Dion says no. Interesting that you would not go to the theme parks if they are open. So if you would, I mean, answer either way. Like I say, no judging. I'm just curious, because the jobs now that are going to be lost for them not opening those theme parks, bad. And it's bad for our tourism. Lane said no. Dan said yes. Interesting that so many of you wouldn't go to the theme parks. I kind of consider a casino a theme park, frankly. And I went over there to meet some people a couple of weeks ago, and they were packed. Just blew me away how packed they were. And frankly, that's kind of like a theme park to me. So Dan says yes. Dan says yes, he would go. So interesting. The question was, I'm putting to all of you out there, no matter where you are, doesn't have to be in California, but if theme parks are open in your area, are you going? Yes or no? If you're in an area where they're closed, would you go if they did open? Yes or no? And like I said, I would go if it's something I really wanted to see. All right, there is some positive news out there. Globus is preparing to run its first tours in more than 6 months. River cruise lines continue to slowly ramp up European sailings, and Mexico is easing hotel and meeting capacity limits. So things are opening up. Gary Swartz said yes, he would go to that theme park. How about Dollywood? How about Silver Dollar? The Ozarks? Yeah, I mean, there's so many great theme parks out there. And if they can follow the guidelines, I mean, I personally feel that if they can follow guidelines and we're comfortable, get those people back working. All right, so again, there is positive news out there in the world of travel. Hawaii plans to reopen next month with pre-travel COVID-19 testing, and companies say travel sales have been on a steady rise after the early summer's sudden drop-off. So that is good news, because there's so many places that tourism is really what keeps them alive. All right, so answer the question if you feel like it. Sergio says, depends on how well they follow the guidelines. I totally agree. If I went somewhere and I saw right away that they weren't following the guidelines, I would probably, more than likely, definitely say I want a refund and leave. You have to be comfortable wherever you go. I mean, that's the key right now, of us being comfortable in whatever situation we want to be in. Lane says, didn't ACT Tours say they were having day trips in November and December? They might have said it, I don't know, but as soon as, Steve hasn't said anything to me about the day trips, so as soon as I know, Lane, I will let you know, because he usually keeps me posted. He might have said it in his October Travel Club of the Desert video that is now on the ACT Tours Facebook page. Go watch it. Steve and Lalo are wearing their beer drinking clothes there. I told them they should have got up and danced the polka. All right, Sergio said, I absolutely agree with that. Thanks, Sergio. Again, it's all about choices. We have to decide for ourselves and for our young children, because they can't decide. We have to know which situation is good for them. Lane said in the October meeting, okay, Lane, well, he hasn't put out an itinerary yet of day trips. I usually get them, so I haven't got anything yet, but when I do, you will be the first to know. Also, endless summer. Have you noticed that? Because of schools not opening like normal, for those of you that feel that you can hop in your RV now that all the kids are back to school and go to your favorite campground, think again, because right now we're in what's called an endless summer by the travel industry, because people are out there and doing their schooling from remotely, they're doing their work remotely, they're doing so much remotely that they're just extending the summer. Hoteliers and other industry players are seeing leisure travel trends extending well into the fall, buoyed in part by pandemic era shifts. So again, if you thought that you're just going to be able to hop in your RV and go to your normal campgrounds and resorts, RV resorts, and there'll be plenty of room, think again. So much is sold out for the next several months. Good luck. be prepared. That is one thing this pandemic has really changed. We all planned before, to some extent, some more extensively than others. Me, I tend to like to go places and then figure out when I'm there what I'm going to do. I don't normally arrange so much as if I would on escorting ACT tours. But now if I don't do that, I can't get in because I need reservations, and most of the time the rest sold out or booked, and so I have to rethink how I travel. Okay, what else? Randall says, hi Randall, thanks for watching. You're watching Traveling with Francoise. I'm Francoise Rhodes, your host. I was in Borrego Springs the other day, and they had a Acrofest 2020 was there, which is pilots with all sorts of biplanes and different types of single passenger planes that do these acrobats in the air, and they're judged on them. It's actually a contest, and they come from all over. Beautiful planes. You probably saw a picture that I had, I think, on Traveling with Francoise. I'll post a few. The sad part of this Acrofest 2020, and it ended yesterday, so I'm not causing any drama here, is that we couldn't have spectators come watch it. We couldn't have the normal people that would sit along the airport fencing and watch this because there couldn't be any groups, and it was so sad because it was amazing what these pilots do. They own privately owned planes, and they're up in the air doing all sorts of loops and dives, and it made me think of when I was in the Blue Angels jet. Beautiful planes. I met a female pilot, Suzanne. Her plane was pink and blue and white. It was so great. I posted a picture of it. Just loved it. But I mean, things like that, and you wonder, can we not spread out all across the desert and watch these things? I'm not sure how we're going to go about it, but next one that they have in April, I'm really hoping that I can invite all of you to Borrego Springs to see Acrofest, because it really is incredible. But those are a lot of things that we're missing, but I was happy that they were able to even have it. They got the permits at the 12th hour. It was the very last minute, and the pilots, you know what? They supported the event. They flew in from all over, and they had their event. So there are some things happening, and if you were clever enough, you could probably sit in your own backyard and watch the whole thing, or maybe sit a little bit around the wing. So anyway, all right. So the question I was putting out to you: would you go to a theme park if it was open and they were following guidelines? Yes or no? Would you do it right now across the country? I don't know. I don't care where you are. Would you do it? Will you do it? Are you doing it? Have you done it? You can just say yes or no, or tell us where you have been. I'm just kind of curious about that, because again, Disneyland here is now actually taking legal action in California to get Disneyland open. All right, in the news, we talked about positive endless summer. Mexico escapes a major damage from Hurricane Delta. Airports and resorts are back in operation on the Yucatan Peninsula. Good for them. As I said, we're talking ACT tours just got back from Mexico. They had fabulous weather. I was reading a post from a writer who just went to Mexico. He said here he'd been in quarantine for all these months, went to Mexico to actually go and enjoy himself, and he was quarantined inside his hotel because of the weather. One thing you can never predict when you travel, never ever, is the weather. Also in the news, speaking of travel, Southwest Airline announces year-round service from Palm Springs International to Oakland, Denver, and Phoenix beginning November 15th. We were talking about that and what's happening in Coachella Valley. Our airport here in Palm Springs is considered an international airport. Well, I'm not exactly sure how it got that rating, but that is what it's called. But we are getting more non-stops and more new flights coming into Palm Springs this season than ever before. So that tells us, even though all our major events are still on hold, the travel industries, the airlines see something happening, and it costs them dollars wherever they go and land these jets. So it's interesting to see what's happening here in Palm Springs. Maybe your airport, which is considered, you know, a little bit smaller airport like Palm Springs, is getting more flights in. Check it out and see what's going on, because the industry, they're sitting back and rethinking how and where they send their jets, and how beneficial will it be for them to have nonstop flights from point A to point B. So again, here in Palm Springs, Southwest Airlines, along with so many other airlines now, are offering year-round service from Palm Springs to Oakland, Denver, and Phoenix, which is great news for us here. All right, I want to thank everybody out there that's watching. Just want to say hi to you. No, I'm not done. I just want to thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, because it isn't normal, this show, anymore. We don't have the video. We don't have the pictures. I have so many guests I want to invite, but I can have them call in, but I know you actually like to see them there, so I haven't really had anybody call in. So I don't know. I'm just kind of torn about that. I think you would rather see the people than on the phone. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should have them call in. You tell me. All right, plexiglass on planes. Yes, we have plexiglass at restaurants, plexiglass at nail salon, plexiglass everywhere. At the bank, there is plexiglass all over the place. Thank you, Dan. Palm Springs International due to flights to Canada and Mexico. Thank you. You know, we're so used to our neighbors, Canada and Mexico. Didn't dawn on my head, so that is why we're international. Thank you, Dan Scanny. All right. I will not forget that either. All right, plexiglass on planes. There's been a question about that, but representatives for Airbus, Boeing, and Embracer say that partitions could hinder airflow in cabin evacuations. Very good point on the airline's part. So if they're not going to be putting plexiglass in the jets, then don't you think they still should go to that empty seat between people? I think they should. And I understand the plexiglass, because even at the nail salon, with the plexiglass right next to you on each side, you're banging the thing, getting out of the, I don't know. It's great that they have it. I appreciate it. But in an airline, can you imagine getting up and trying to get out from a window seat with plexiglass partitions in between? It just would be a nightmare. And should something happen and trying to evacuate. So it's not going to happen. The airlines are refusing to do that. They just said, no, it's too dangerous. So, you know, you have to take a stand. Also, Genting Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean, they're given the green light to restart sailings in Singapore. Both cruise lines will offer cruises to nowhere at 50% capacity with enhanced safety protocols guided by Singapore Tourism Board new Cruise Safe certification program. I'll spit that out. Here's what happens when I do read things like this. My mind is jumping ahead because I'm thinking about other things that have to do with this. A cruise to nowhere. Have you ever been on a cruise to nowhere? I love cruising. And frankly, once I'm on the cruise ship, I'm all unpacked. I could go nowhere and be perfectly happy. I mean, just go sail around out there and be perfectly happy, because there's so much to do and learn and see on a cruise ship now. It's not like it was where all people thought they did was eat and sit by the pool. There is something happening all the time, and they have classes to learn things. They have it's just so much fun things to do, or do nothing at all. So me, a cruise to nowhere, I'd take it in a second. But a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of you want to get off at certain ports, like on a regular basis every day. I don't need all that. Great, I love to stop at different ports. If I'm on a cruise, it does that. But if I'm on a cruise to nowhere, sign me up. I can go. Also, Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a lot of things happening over there. Up to 1,000 can gather in Las Vegas under new guidelines. Yes, up to 1,000 people. But there are a number of requirements that must be met, and the new cap only applies to conferences, conventions, and trade shows. So that means Las Vegas will be opening its door to conventions, conferences, and trade shows. So we'll see what happens, but they can only have up to 1,000 people. So I'm gathering they can probably have more if they structure it to where people are in and out. If they come in one door and out another, they can keep track that there are 1,000 people inside these trade shows at any one time. So clever thinking will go along with all this. We'll see how that works out. Planet Hollywood Resort set to open welcome guest beginning October 8th. So they are now open. Planet Hollywood Resort on the Las Vegas Strip is now open. And anticipation is building for Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, set to open January 15th, following the renovation and rebranding of the former Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. So that will be the Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. And Virginia City in Nevada, they have so many Halloween events going on. I want to go there. I want to go to Virginia City. I think it's incredible up there. So there are a lot of Halloween events going on in Virginia City, Nevada. So check it out. You might want to go there because they are opening it up and having a lot of fun with that. And I do have some of the haunted hotspots, the most haunted hotspots in America. There are some of them out there, and I will give you the rundown of who is the most haunted. The 10 top haunted states are, you ready? Number 10, and I'm going to save this because I want to read this again probably in the next couple weeks too when we get closer to Halloween. Number 10 is Virginia. Number 9 is New York. Number 8 is Oklahoma. Number 7 is Pennsylvania. Number 6 on the list of the top 10.
Wait, I want to know how Virginia, I was born in Virginia, I want to know how are we the most haunted?
They are in the top 10 of paranormal sightings that have been reported.
Well, that explains my relatives.
There you are, the paranormal.
Who all still live there.
That's Craig Campbell over there.
Thanks
He's
a lot.
Hanging out. So number 10, they had 1,600 cases, over 1,600 cases reported in the last several years. I'm going to say several years. Sightings. That's how they figured this out. Virginia, you don't believe that in Virginia? All right, number 5 is Illinois with 2,100. Number 4 is in Michigan. Number 3, Ohio. California comes in at number 2 with over 6,400 paranormal sightings. Number 1, for those of you that live in Texas, you have a lot of hauntings going on in Texas. The most ghost sightings ever are in Texas with over 6,800. California comes in second with 6,400 ghost sightings. There you go. So we should go to those places to experience Halloween. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. All right, ACT Cruises, they do have some cruises. They are booking cruises for 2021. So go to their website, act-tours.com, and check it out, and I'll let you know about those day trips as well. I want to thank all our sponsors. Oh, by the way, VW Palm Springs, for those of you that live local, if you buy 3 tires, you get one for $1. You get the 4th one for $1. Right, I want to thank everybody else, Mike Thompson's RV Superstore, Diane Williams and Associates, Indian Ridge Country Club, Borrego Springs Resort and Spa. They have been really busy out there in Borrego Springs. Again, everything you're going to do, so don't just show up because you're going to have problems probably everywhere you go now. A1 Custom Golf Cars, the leader in lithium batteries right here in the Coachella Valley. ACT Tours, Dana Wharf Whale Watching. They have limited capacities on their boats, so go out there. The whales are migrating because of our warmer waters. They're migrating almost all year long now, but they're getting some spectacular video out there. I haven't heard anything from the Cabot Pueblo Museum yet. When they're going to open, they're going to let me know. Johannes Restaurant in Palm Springs is open. Check it out. Arc Attire, they are open by appointment only for all your silk screening need, hats, and whatnot. I have to thank everybody again because without them, there wouldn't be a Traveling with Francoise. Remember, a new episode starts this week on television. It is about behind the scenes and some bloopers. Actually, I do laugh, and we do have fun with those shows, so check it out. At the end, there's a little special surprise for Lane and Gary, because they were instrumental in helping me create this show, and they don't even know it, so I want to thank them. I want to thank everybody out there for watching. I really, really appreciate it. You can go to the website, travelingwithfrancoise.com, and check out all the stuff I have there. Blogs that are posted on CoachellaValley.com. There's travel blogs. There's this show. There's live What's Happening in Coachella Valley. That show's posted on there. Videos, television shows, contests, limited contests right now because we're having a problem getting prizes, but that will slowly change. All of that is on travelingwithfrancoise.com. So until next time, you have a fabulous week. Enjoy your 3-day holiday if you have one. And remember, it's never too late to get a life. See you next time. Bye.